Десь там, в світі фантазій, є магічна бібліотека. І її бібліотекар Лібі, яка обожнює читати історії. Привіт! Це я! Готові послухати чудову історію? Тоді влаштовуйтесь зручніше. Mila lived in a neat little house on a neat little street. He loved his home for lots of reasons, but mainly because best friend Jay lived next door. Mila and Jay shared the good times, the bad times, and everything in between. Nothing could beat the feeling of having a best friend. Then one day, a new family moved into the big old house across the road. Mila watched as a girl ran excitedly around the garden. She smiled and waved, and Mila waved back. Later that afternoon, Mila went to call for Jay, but he wasn't in. He had gone over to the big old house across the road. Without telling Mila, Jay and the girl were in the garden, laughing very loudly. A funny feeling squirmed around in Mila's tummy. "Hi, Mila," called Jay. "This is Susie. Isn't her garden amazing?" Mila nodded, but the jealous, squirmy feeling was nothing to do with Susie's massive garden and everything to do with how much fun Jay was having. Without him, the next day Jay was out again. Mila knew exactly where he would be. And sure enough, he was outside reading comics with Susie. Then Mila had a horrible thought. What if Jay didn't want to be best friend with him anymore? The squirmy feeling took over completely. And as it did, something very strange happened. A green-eyed monster popped up right beside him. "It's not fair," muttered the monster. "Jay is your friend, not Susie's." From then on, the green-eyed monster wouldn't leave him alone. Whenever he saw Jay and Susie laughing, the green-eyed monster said they were making fun of him. And whenever he saw them playing, the monster hissed that they were having more fun without him. Every time Mila saw Susie and Jay together, the green-eyed monster made him feel terrible. So Mila decided to stop seeing them at all. If they called around at his house, he pretended not to be in. If he saw them at the park, he would hide. And if either of them asked what was wrong, he just said nothing and turned away. Day after day, he walked around with only the miserable muttering of the green-eyed monster for company. Until one day, Susie tapped him on the shoulder. "Why aren't you and Jay friends anymore?" she asked. "He really misses you." She looked very upset. The monster said it was a trick, that Susie was lying, but Mila shook his head. It was time to get rid of that pesky monster once and for all. Mila shut his eyes tight. He took a deep breath and tried to force the bad feeling away. The green-eyed monster protested and muttered mean words, but its voice became quieter and quieter and quieter until at last it was completely gone. Finally, Mila could see the truth. The green-eyed monster had nearly ruined everything. Now he did the only thing that he could. He said, "I'm sorry," and he really was. Soon they were all friends again, laughing and playing in Susie's garden, together. Mila smiled. Nothing could beat the feeling of having a best friend, except having two of them.
Дякую, що слухали мою історію. Пам'ятайте, коли ми слухаємо, ми вчимося і говорити. До нових зустрічей на каналі «Слухай і говори». Не забудьте підписатись.